The reading strategy I will use for this story is called a think aloud. In this think aloud, I will be emphasizing the visual and sensory information and trying to picture the author's words as she describes them on the page from the different characters in the story. The story is Skwoman Falling by Robin Wall Kimmerer from her book Braiding Sweetgrass. It begins. She fell like a maple seed pirouetting on an autumn breeze. A column of light streamed from a hole in the sky world, marking her path where only darkness had been before. It took her a long time to fall. In fear, or maybe hope, she clutched a bundle tightly in her hand. The first perspective we get is from the perspective of the woman who is falling. I'm imagining the sensation of falling, what that feels like. To be pirouetting down towards the earth, swirling downwards. As I look around, I can see the column of light from where I am falling, marking the path down to the earth. I feel suspended. I am fearful. Or maybe there's some hope. In my hand, I have a bundle. I am clutching it tightly. I am hurtling downward, faster now. I see only the dark water below. But in that emptiness, there were many eyes gazing up at the sudden shaft of light. Now I see the eyes beneath me, and the perspective switches. I am now looking from the perspective of these eyes. They see me. They saw a small object, a mere dust in the beam. As it grows closer, they can see me, the woman with my arms outstretched, my long black hair billowing behind me as I continue to spiral toward them. The geese nodded at one another and rose together from the water in a wave of goose music. And I'm recalling the sound that geese make as they lift off the water. She felt the beat of their wings as they flew beneath to break her fall. I can feel myself being couched, being embraced by these wings. It is soft. I am far from the only home I have ever known. Skwoman catches her breath as the warm embrace of soft feathers as they gently carry me downward. Maybe I feel relief here. I've been caught by the geese and their soft feathers who are bringing me down. And so it began. The geese could not hold the woman above the water for much longer. They are strained. So they call a council to decide what to do. Resting on their wings, she saw them all gather. So now I can see myself. I am sitting on the wings of the geese, and around me gather loons, otters, swans, beavers, fish of all kinds. They're swimming in the water towards me. I can see them coming up from beneath me, these fish. I can also see a great turtle. A great turtle floated in their midst and offered his back for her to rest upon. So now I am being taken from the geese wings. I am sitting on the back of the turtle. Gratefully, she stepped from the goose wings onto the dome of the turtle's shell. The others understood that she needed land for her home and discussed how they might serve her need. So all the animals are in communication. The deep divers among them had heard of mud at the bottom of the water and agreed to go find some. A loon dove down first. I am picturing the loon, its black and white speckled body. But the distance was too far for the loon, and after a while, he surfaced with nothing to show for his efforts. So I imagine the frustration of the loon. One by one, the other animals offered help: otter, beaver, sturgeon. But the depth, the darkness, and the pressures were too great for even the strongest of swimmers. They returned, gasping for air with their heads ringing. Some did not return at all. Soon only little muskrat was left, the weakest diver of all. And I see this little muskrat, he's swimming around. But he volunteers. He volunteered to go while the others looked on doubtfully. His small legs flailed as he worked his way downward, and he was gone a very long time. So now from the perspective of the otter, I imagine this pressure of the water becoming greater as I swim deeper and deeper. He was gone a very long time. The other animals waited. We all waited and waited for him to return, fearing the worst for their relative. And before long, a stream of bubbles rose with the small, limp body of the muskrat. Now we see him float to the surface. He had given his life to aid this helpless human. But then the others noticed that his paw was tightly clenched, and when they opened it, there was a small handful of mud. So imagine this tiny paw. This tiny paw, it's concealing it at first, and then it opens, and there's the mud there. The turtle said, "Here, put it on my back, and I will hold it." Skwoman bent and spread the mud with her hands across the shell of the turtle. So this turtle's back, once containing all its patterns, is now being covered with this dark brown mud. Moved by the extraordinary gifts of the animals, she sang in thanksgiving and then began to dance, her feet caressing the earth. The land grew and grew as she danced her thanks, from the dab of mud on Turtle's back until the whole earth was made. So as she's dancing, all around her, the green of the forest starts to grow and surround her. But it was not by Skwoman alone, but from the alchemy of all the animals' gifts coupled with her deep gratitude. Together they formed what we knew today as Turtle Island, our home. Like any good guest, Skwoman had not come empty-handed. The bundle was still clutched in her hand, so the whole time she is holding on to this bundle. When she tumbled from the sky world, she had reached out to grab onto the tree of life that grew there. In her grasp were branches, fruits, and seeds of all kinds of plants. So now we know what this bundle contains. It contains seeds and plants. These she scattered onto the new ground and carefully tended each one until the world turned from brown to green. Sunlight streamed through the hole from the sky world. We're looking up now, and we can see this light streaming down, allowing the seeds to flourish. Wild grasses, flowers, trees, and medicine spread everywhere. And now that the animals too had plenty to eat, many came to live with her on Turtle Island. So all these animals that had before been scattered across this deep ocean now come and settle onto the island built on the turtle's back.